Coming up, West End residents voicing strong opposition to COVID-19 isolation center being set up in that community. Also, the Grand Bahama Power Company enacting an emergency response plan to the coronavirus. And hear what is being done to protect the precious pearls from COVID-19. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the country continues to monitor the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. What was once a foreign virus has made its way to our shores as one Bahamian citizen is now hospitalized. And while there is need for some degree of concern, health officials maintain that overreacting may do more harm than good. They advise that simple common sense measures could help to keep you safe. The latest reports show one confirmed case, 11 persons are in quarantine, and 31 persons have been released. Now, while centers have been established in the nation's capital, it appears that plans to set up an isolation center in one area in Grand Bahama is being met with some resistance. Jamila Mizik has our top story.
I'm 66 years old. I'll be 67 this year, and I want to live.
Residents of the West are expressing concerns about the possibility that the West End Community Clinic could be used as a quarantine center for those affected by the COVID-19 coronavirus. These residents say that other options should be considered. West End resident Dennis Martin says, at a meeting on Thursday evening, residents were informed that the West End Clinic is being considered as a place for isolation, an idea to which the majority of persons in attendance disagreed.
It is our view that none of these community clinics should be considered for quarantine, because that's why you call them community, because they were in the community and people are always around them. Our recommendation was certainly my recommendation, was that they should consider the University of Bahamas campus up in East End, where no one is, that is presently unoccupied, reconfigure that to whatever is needed, and if it needs be, and you have to quarantine anybody, you take them there.
Meantime, residents Linwood Neely and Charles Adderley say they're concerned about the health and well-being of residents in the area.
Where are the people of West End going when they want to see a clinic? You know, you can't say, but they can still come here, because that's out of the question. They will not come here because the people are panicking as it is.
I asked the question, how could this be even without the community even knowing that it was being considered? You know, we have a lot of young kids around here, very young, in fact. You know, we have a lot of senior people around here. We look at the Xanadu Hotel. The government has the ability, they can accommodate that building if they need it. That's unoccupied. You know, they have rooms, they have toilet facilities. So, you know, why West End? You know, West End has been, in my opinion, been neglected for a long time. We don't even have an ambulance service down here, a proper one. We don't have a fire engine, so why not bring this on us?
Member of Parliament for West Grants, Bahama and Bimini, Pakeisha Parker Edgecombe says their office was inundated with calls from residents expressing concerns, and she thought it important to hear those concerns firsthand.
It isn't that we are against assisting or being considerate of the needs of anyone that may contract this virus, but we just want that information to be presented to us in a way that we can actually make decisions not only for ourselves and our loved ones, but to assist in the Ministry of Health and their fight against it. Right now I'm hearing the concerns. I am going to take these concerns. I am going to express them to my colleagues and to the government, and I am hopeful that in the end we were all able to come out of this, first and foremost, with no cases in West Grand Bahama and Bimini, and indeed Grand Bahama, as we have already heard about Nassau. But we continue to pray, and we just want to be aware, and we want our people to be safe, and we have to take the concerns of residents as they express them seriously.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Well, meantime, Grand Bahama health officials are responding to the concerns of West End residents. Jay Philippe picks up that story.
Medical Chief of Staff Dr. Freeman Lockhart says fear is the basis for the response from residents of West Grand Bahama, but he says there is no reason to be alarmed.
This whole selection of West End Clinic being
selected for the isolation of possible COVID-19 cases is not something that was taken lightly. We in the Grand Bahama Health Services visited many of our facilities that were left standing after Hurricane Dorian, and as you know, the western end of the island was least impacted. What we have to realize here, when someone is being isolated or being kept in an isolated facility, that is someone who needs round-the-clock medical attention. So it's not easy to just care for someone like that in an abandoned home or an abandoned building that was suggested away from everybody. That patient still, or that person still needs to be in a facility that can offer them some level of medical care.
Dr. Lockhart says the patient that is isolated is usually someone who is having a high fever or shortness of breath. He says oxygen has to be available and someone has to be there, whether a nurse or physician, to care for that patient while giving medication to counteract the effect of the fever.
That patient has to be properly hydrated with intravenous fluid. So the facility that is selected has to be a medical facility of some kind. And after viewing many of the remaining facilities that we have available here, the hospital is no more. So the hospital was not an option. So after viewing many of the remaining facilities we have here on the island, we thought that the West End facilities, and given the fact that it was recently renovated, was probably the most ideal.
The medical chief staff added that discussions are ongoing to identify other facilities in Grand Bahama, but those discussions are being held by government officials. As it relates to self-quarantine, Dr. Lockhart says this simply means that you are encouraging persons to stay away from the general population.
In the case of COVID-19, the request is usually to stay confined to your home for a period of about 14 days. After 14 days, the period of you potentially transmitting that illness or virus to someone else is thought to be non-existent. So when someone is asked to go into self-quarantine, what is asked of them is to actually go into a part of the home, a bedroom, a bathroom, if possible, and that part of the home is exclusively theirs. If there are other persons in the home, then they don't use the same bathroom facilities as that particular individual. They don't use the same bedroom facility of that individual. So they not only stay away from the general public, but they also stay away from their family members as well.
I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Well, the elderly are among those considered vulnerable as the country tries to ward off the COVID-19 pandemic. Megan Shepard visited some of the homes on Grand Bahama today to find out their plan of action.
Risk when it comes to contracting the COVID-19 virus, the elderly of society. And now that the Bahamas has confirmed a local case in the nation's capital, homes for the aged on Grand Bahama are increasing their protection measures. Here on island, one of the main measures is to limit or completely stop visitation.
We've been staying inside, keeping our old people, try not to have too much visitors. We have our masks to the door and our sanitizers right there to the door. Anybody come to the door, we make them put it on. But we don't really want no visitors at this time because, the old people, they're more subject to getting it than, the young people. So we're trying our best, but it's hard, because they like to go, But anyhow, like I said, we're doing our best with what we have.
We've been trying to make sure we have enough supply to help us to run through for the next month or two for, what's about to take place. But we said that by Thursday, we actually really can be shut down by Thursday. So that's why I'm talking with my workers now to see who like to stay on board, to sleep over and everything for the next month or two. All depends on how long it lasts for. and some of them already told me they will stay, which is a blessing. And that I telling family members and stuff that if you don't really need to come, call, but if you do come, the gates and stuff going to be locked, whatever y'all said. You can put it over the fence, and they say let the sun set on it for a while, and then we will bring it inside the home.
Noel says that persons have committed to supplying sanitation necessities, but they are still waiting to receive those supplies. She says they are currently taking care of 58 persons in the community and are still accepting donations in this effort.
Like the Port Authority has called us, and actually they're coming by to make sure that we have a lot of cleaning stuff and sanitized stuff to help us with, just as well as other persons been calling and asking us what we need and everything like that. We've been trying to make sure we have enough supply to help us to run through for the next month or two.
Now, Burrows says that while they are fully stocked on the necessary cleaning supplies, she is still making an appeal for more products, as there's no telling when this pandemic will come to an end.
We in need of more bleach, stuff like that. We do need more stuff because, this everyday thing. We have to mop, everything, washing dishes has to be sterilized with bleach and hot water, but we're doing pretty good, but I don't want to go out. Any donations you could get, we'll be thankful for to help us through this crisis right now. Because, you can never have too much, and you don't know how long this is going to last.
Now, while the country continues to be in preparedness mode, both ladies say they are working on faith and prayer.
Like I just was telling someone on the phone, I feel good because I know I'm not letting my old people be exposed to nothing, and I don't think we're going to get it here. I have faith in God, and He's going to spare us.
Now, Agatha Thompson of the Home for the Aged spoke with our news team off camera. She says they are currently in good standing when it comes to supplies, and they too have stopped the visitation process. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the Grand Bahama Power Company also working to mitigate coronavirus risks to employees and customers. As Jamila Mizik tells us, some major changes are expected to take effect tomorrow.
In keeping with its pandemic response plan, Grand Bahama Power Company is implementing changes to its operations to safeguard the health and well-being of employees, contractors, and customers. Effective Wednesday, March 18th, the power company's corporate office and drive-through payment window will be closed to customers. Bill payments may continue to be made online on the company's website, gb-power.com, and automatic payments will continue as normal. In addition, the power company has temporarily suspended service disconnections for non-payment effective immediately. The company will review these operational changes on an ongoing basis and will keep customers apprised of further changes via social media and other channels. President and CEO Dave McGregor noting that effective immediately, the power company will focus solely on the requirements for core operations. He says the company's energy team is currently working to develop a shift system for core operations to allow the plant and temporary generation units to continue to provide reliable service to Grand Bahama. Line crews will be called in as needed for power outages, and customer service team will be available to respond to queries as normal. Grand Bahama Power officials have directed all employees not identified with a role in the plan to stay at home. They are encouraged to practice social distancing, which is proving to be effective against the spread of COVID-19 in other regions, and they are urging all Grand Bahamians to do the same. Further, employees who are identified as having a role in the pandemic response plan have been directed to work from home to the extent possible, using online apps such as Skype and WebEx as tools for communication. Grand Bahama Power customer service team may be reached at 350-8900 or 352-8911 or by email at customerservice@gb-power.com. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Jamila. Well, the Grand Bahama Port Authority also putting protocols in place in the face of the threat of COVID-19. During a press conference at their head office yesterday, officials outlined some of the plans they've implemented.
Utility will ensure that all persons who are connected with water will not be disconnected during this time. We want to assure that everybody has water to take care of their hygiene and take care of their needs. We are on target and continue to develop our wells to ensure that we bring potable water back by May. We want to assure you as well, all the present potable water sites that we have throughout the island, that we will continue, we'll ensure that those are up and that we are maintaining them and we are assuring that they are safe.
Well, officials say they have put a strategic plan in place at various water depots to help citizens on a day-to-day basis.
Our water distribution sites are sanitized and have been sanitized daily, multiple times a day. Going forward, we want to take those measures to the next level. At each distribution site, there will be a water monitor. When you come to the distribution site, you will hand your bottles to the monitor. They will fill the bottles for you, and they will hand it back to you. This is all in the effort to limit the amount of contact that happens at the water distribution sites. When you are waiting for your water, we ask that you practice social distancing. Ensure that there's few feet in between you and the persons around you, just to make sure that nothing is spread. Also, we will be setting up hand washing stations at each of our sites. It is absolutely imperative that if there's not a monitor available for you, to wash your hands with the soap and water that will be provided. This is for your safety and the safety for everyone else. So we encourage you to wash your hands with the soap and water at the distribution sites before using the water. If you have any symptoms, any flu-like symptoms, we ask that you please avoid the water distribution sites and you send someone else to receive the water for you.
Contrary to reports, there is no shortage of water on Grand Bahama. Yesterday, our news team was inundated with calls from persons claiming that local food stores were experiencing a shortage of drinking water. Well, our news team visited several grocery stores as well as water depots this morning and found good news. At this time, no company is reporting a shortage. Now, some stores note that they did run out of the 16-ounce individual water bottles on Monday, but they are still stocked with the gallon water bottles and the 5-gallon water bottles, and new stock has come in since. Karina Ferguson of Pure Water says that they are fully stocked and they are encouraging residents to fill up on the 5-gallon water bottles.
Obviously, everyone's concerns for the shortage of water in the grocery stores. We do not currently have a shortage of water at the local water companies, specifically here at Pure. We have a full warehouse. We're actually getting ready to go into production now. Currently, we sell 5 gallons, 16.9 and 8 ounce. We're pushing our 5 gallons during this time simply because they can be refilled.
Well, Ferguson is also assuring residents that safety is a top priority at their facilities.
So the safety measures that we're taking for the community, our delivery truck driver is equipped with gloves, hand sanitizer, and Clorox wipes, which he uses after every interaction. We are also asking customers to please stay outside and we will come to you. Therefore, no one from the community is inside the warehouse in the event that there is an issue. We're just taking all the precautions necessary. As long as the government allows grocery stores to be open, we fall in that bracket, and therefore our water companies will be staying open.
Now to news from the crime beat. Police officials arraigning 3 men on shop-breaking charges. According to reports, Renard Fulford, age 34 of 8 Mile Rock, Raymond Brown, age 38 of Sappadilly Road, and Daxter Carter, age 48 of Martintown, 8 Mile Rock, were all arraigned before Magistrate Charlton Smith in Magistrate Court Number 2 on shop-breaking charges and possession of an unlicensed firearm. They all pleaded not guilty to the charges, with the exception of Raymond Brown, who pleaded guilty to shop-breaking and was sentenced to 30 months at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. Dexter Carter was further charged with threats of death. He pleaded not guilty to that charge. They were all adjourned to June 8th for trial. And Ricardo Fines, age 57 years, of Nelson Road, was arraigned before Magistrate Rangan Johnson and Magistrate Court Number 3 on a damage charge. He pleaded not guilty, and that matter was also adjourned to Monday, May 18th, 2020 for trial. This is in connection to an incident reported to police on Monday, March 8th, 2020, where a culprit caused damage to the ATM machine at Commonwealth Bank situated on the Mall Drive. The estimated cost of damage to that ATM machine is somewhere around $7,600. And police are reporting that 35-year-old Roland Shamar Roll of number 15 Bardu Place, Freeport, Grand Bahama, is now in custody. Roll was wanted for stealing by reason of service. He turned himself into the police station this afternoon. He was wanted by CDU. Coming up, Grand Bahama remains open for business. That story and more when we come back.